Super Shami strikes on his return to the Indian side. A 5-wicket haul. India pulled things back in the last 10 overs. Only 54 given. 6 wickets, 2 fours and 2 sixes in those last 10 overs. If it wasn't the middle overs choke, it was surely the death overs drought from the Indian bowlers that have stopped New Zealand at 273. That's what the score is. In an innings that saw Daryl Mitchell's 130. Well, he's taking over from Ross Taylor, isn't he? 273 for 10. New Zealand, Mohammed Shami, 5 for 54. Kuldeep Yadav, 2 for 73. A touch expensive, but he pulled things back as well. Mohammad Siraj got that 1 wicket, giving away 45 in his 10. Rachin Ravindra scoring 75 as well, but well, looks like India are on top at the moment. Momentum with India for sure. Parthiv Patel and Zaheer Khan in this Cricbuzz live studio. What a bowling performance that was. It looked like 300 plus for sure at one stage.
Yeah, I mean, it was an interesting first 10 overs. It was something which we've not seen. New Zealand taking it very slow. And after that, that partnership. So at 35 over mark, you would say, okay, it's very good situation for New Zealand. From here, they should be able to consolidate. Go past 300 is something which we were expecting. And that is why the credit has to be given to the bowlers. Yeah. They've really pulled things back nicely. And last 10 overs, just 54 runs, 6 wickets. Shami doing a brilliant job with wicket taking. But Kuldeep also, that after 35th over, bowling those 3 valuable overs very nicely. Rohit Sharma using his resources well, I think, was the highlight. Today, he didn't use Bumrah up front. In the middle phase also, you've not seen him use Bumrah. Delayed that Bumrah spell and still kept 4 overs for the last 10. So that shows there was a plan, absorbing pressure as a bowling unit, and then doing what they've done was phenomenal.
Yes, 4-2-4 was how he used Bumrah's 10 overs. Between 31 and 40, Parthiv 72 conceded, only 2 wickets. At that stage, we thought it's surely going to be a 310, 320 kind of score.
It actually started from Kuldeep's 3 overs, as Zach mentioned, and that allowed Rohit Sharma to delay Jasprit Bumrah's those overs, because Kuldeep had gone for a lot of runs, but he came back and took a couple of wickets. But yeah, at that stage, it clearly looked like that New Zealand will reach to 320 or something. And see the numbers, if you can see, Jasprit Bumrah and Siraj's are identical numbers, and that also New Zealand's approach also helped them to bowl that kind of line and length. They did not have to do anything. They were just coming in and hitting that 4th stump line and length, and they kept on leaving the ball. I think that was a bit surprising, because there wasn't a bit of any movement or too much of swing where you had to give so much of respect to Indian bowlers. I thought New Zealand did that, and that is the reason why India bowled well in first 10 and last 10. The main important part, and to just give away 54 runs and taking 6 wickets is an exceptional effort. And remember, you were bowling to a batsman who's batting on 100. Yeah. That is also key. Usually that makes a huge difference, because when you're bowling to a set batter, his strike rate just goes from 110 or 120 to directly 150. But they hold him back and they bowled brilliantly.
Shami, sorry, go on.
Shami just coming back and making a statement, and how? I mean, Pfeiffer, that exactly comes down to Zach's point. Now what will India do?
They've got a week to think about that, but hang on. 274 to chase for India. Mohammed Shami clearly with this 5-wicket haul making up for the 4 games he lost.
Yeah, he was keen on wanting to be out there and doing what he does. Phenomenal spell. And like how we were mentioning, once you get that opportunity, you bowl this kind of a spell. Now everything is going to take care of itself. Now you know you're not going to leave out Shami from this bowling attack. You'll have to find a way of making sure he's part of playing 11.
Yep.
If you're playing 3 seamers, how you do it, it's up to the team management now. But it's like a batter going out and scoring 100 or 150, and then you're saying, okay, you can't play the next game. That doesn't happen in cricket. So performance takes care of itself is what I was just trying to say before the game when they picked Shami. Now it's in Shami's hands. He's gone out there, bowled this brilliant spell, got Pfeiffer. not given away too many runs and created that impact on the game. Is going to be now that thought process going forward for the team also, which is going to be a simplified thought process. Okay, 60 deliveries of Shami is going to be very, very useful for the team. Let's just go ahead with that.
Parthiv, there's also a life lesson in what Shami has done today. You keep knocking the door. If it doesn't open, you just break open the door.
He did, and interestingly, Mohammed Shami usually bowls with new ball, and today, he came in one change, and obviously there is a vast improvement in the way he's been bowling in death overs since last couple of years now. But yeah, I mean, that's the ability which Mohammed Shami has, and everyone and all of us here also have been talking about why Mohammed Shami is needed in this squad, because in the team, in the playing 11, because if you want to pull things back, you need to take wickets, and Mohammed Shami has that ability of taking wickets up front. Now that he's showing he can take wickets in the middle over, even if you're bowling one change, and death overs also he bowled brilliantly. So he is an asset, and so it was slightly disappointing to see not him getting those games. But now that he scored a game at the right point of time, we are still in the middle of the tournament, and a bowler who's taking a fifer with the way Bumrah has been bowling, the way Jadeja has been bowling. Yes, Kuldeep was expensive, but still I think now that India has another wicket taker in their playing 11.
At one stage, Rachin Ravindra and Daryl Mitchell were going really well, 159 the partnership, and it was Shami who broke that partnership and then broke that lower order completely. Zach, technically speaking, what did you see in Mohammed Shami's bowling throughout this game?
Well, same thing what we've been saying over the years. He's not
paste.
Yeah, he's not done anything different. Kept it wicket to wicket, was hitting the deck hard. Saw those variations a little bit. At the back end is the improved area what Parthiv was talking about. You've not seen so consistently Shami bowling at the back end with so much clarity. I think he was very clear today with the plans and execution. He was just focusing on bowling those Yorkers, rolling the fingers over, and backing himself with the seam up deliveries. Kept it very simple.
Look, this is not the kind of show where while sipping coffee we put pressure on our guests. But if you had to use just one word to describe Mohammed Shami's seam position, just one word.
Sensational. Shami the sensational.
What's this? Well,
Out.
I think
said Mohammed Shami 5 times.
the one word to describe Shami's seam position is just phenomenal.
Phenomenal, sensational, bring out the dictionary. Use all those adjectives because Shami needs it, and I'm sure he could be the top story in the newspaper headlines tomorrow morning. What about the other bowlers? Kuldeep Yadav, again a story of two halves, Parthiv. He gave away 48 in his first 5. Mitchell, Ravindra went after him, but in his second 5 overs, gave away just 25, picked up 2 wickets. He showed great character in those 5 overs.
He did, and you have to be brave as a wrist spinner, especially when you are playing in a smaller ground like this. And when you've gone for runs, you are actually left with no option. There's no way to hide here. And especially India playing with only 5 bowlers, you knew that Kuldeep has to bowl 10 overs, and he did that brilliantly. It is always a tough thing to make a comeback, especially when you hit for so many runs, and you're bowling to both set batsmen. And Kuldeep has been brave throughout his year and half. That is the reason why he's been taking those wickets. If you look at both the wickets, he had bowled slowly, and he's got his left arm seamer in as well, bowling 115. So he was looking for ways. He did not bowl those faster ones in first 5 overs, but now he's realized that if I have to make a comeback, I have to do something else. I have to try and mix up my pace, and he did that. And I think everything started from those 3 overs that he made a comeback and took those 2 wickets. So that's when everything changed. So credit should be given to Kuldeep as well.
Yes, Kuldeep Yadav seems a lot stronger mentally. He had the gumption and the guts and the character to make a comeback in the back half of his 10-over spell. Well, in this game, Kuldeep and Jadeja were attacked. New Zealand came with a certain plan, and it's good that this duo, especially in the middle overs, were tested. Take a look at that. Both of them expensive today, although Jadeja perhaps will be relatively happier with what he bowled, 48 only in 10 on a really flat track, Zach.
Look, also, it was very evident that Rohit was thinking of getting Jadeja's overs out as quickly as possible because he knew he only had those 5 bowlers to rotate around, and New Zealand has got too many left-handers. So he made sure that that concern is not there, and I think that was the strategy from Rohit's side. Now, when you're talking about New Zealand batters, the strategy was to go slow at the top, give respect to Bumrah. I think they gave a bit too much respect because they started very slow, and that just kind of created a scenario for them where they were looking like they were getting bogged down there.
Yeah.
Partnership of Daryl Mitchell and Rachin was for their rescue. I think Daryl Mitchell in particular put Kuldeep under pressure, which opened up the game at that stage. But that was clearly the plan. To go slow at the top in the first 10 and look to put spinners under pressure, which worked beautifully for them. After that, they couldn't consolidate. But if you look at that middle overs, that was the real challenge. That was the talk which we were doing earlier as well. That the spin duo have been very consistent with wicket taking, how New Zealand is going to play them. And what they showed us today was they're going to be aggressive. They're not going to be getting bogged down in that middle phase or be worried about the spinners taking a lot of wickets for India.
These two, Mitchell and Ravindra, came together in the 9th over. They were 34 for 2 in 10. And that's when they slowly started to take control of the innings. 94 for 2, I think it was, after 15. And then from there on, it looked like they were going to take this game away. A partnership of 159, and they've done to India what no other team has done in the middle overs to dominate against India. This tells you how good this Kiwi side is.
Yeah, it is, and that is the reason why they are sitting at the top of the table. You know, and we are talking about a quality side. We are talking about a team that have, whether India is a better team or a New Zealand is a better team. So this is how teams comes to play these World Cup games, big games. And I thought they played spinner really well. That's something which we've been talking about. No other team has attacked Ravindra Jadeja or Kuldeep Yadav. They attacked them, but they attacked in the right areas as well. If you look at the Daryl Mitchell's 6 hitting or a boundaries, everything was straight. Even Rachin Ravindra, he was using his feet really well. And to Jadeja, he was not stepping down because he knows that if Jadeja bowls quick, so he hanged back and hit a couple of boundaries through point. So that is something how you plan your innings. That's part of your game plan. How am I going to play these two spinners who are bowling really well? And they countered attacked them, and that is why they got success. And I mean, look at that, the numbers we just saw. India just got 2 wickets, but the way they batted was brilliant today.
Yes, much credit to the New Zealand coach Gary Stead. The one word that usually associate with Kiwi sides is clinical. There was so much planning that went into it. It looks like this team that has a reputation for being a studious team is showing that character, that quality in every game.
They do have that, and that's a very standout factor whenever you look at New Zealand side. That's one of the reasons they've been so consistent at the ICC tournaments. Also, we've been harping on that fact. I think when the game started, they were not looking at 300 or 350 as a target. Yep. They were just wanting to make sure that they start well, not lose too many wickets, and consolidate, and then look to be aggressive. That was the thought process. That was the plan. They were always looking at 270 mark, and then if you get 30, 40 runs extra, you will take it. So that's the kind of approach they batted with.
Daryl Mitchell, the star, scoring 130. This is his 5th ODI 100 of 32 years of age now. Clearly, he's taken over from Ross Taylor in that middle order. So many shots in the way. The purists will love this innings as well.
Yeah, absolutely. I think scoring 100 in a World Cup game against a top side like India, and the pitch condition that doesn't suit this New Zealand batters. This is not a complete flat Indian wicket. It was slow. It was stopping just a bit. But as we've been talking about how he was very clear about his game plan, just rotating the strike, and whenever he wanted to go big, he was going big straight. He did try to play those reverse sweep, but it was not coming off today initially, and then he stopped it. After that, he didn't play that reverse sweep. Then he was targeting just straight boundaries. Straight boundaries are not that long, so that was an easier shot also. The percentage cricket which we talk about, that's what he did. Obviously, he was expecting that he would get a flurry at the end of 45th or 46th over. That didn't happen, but you can't take away the 130 runs which he scored. I think that is something was very special, and he'll remember this throughout his life.
Once again, Zach, planning is such a key virtue of this innings because on so many occasions throughout this innings, Zach, we saw him stand way outside the crease as well. So clearly, there was a certain clear-cut thought in this innings.
No, I think what I liked about Daryl Mitchell's innings, and not just this innings, I think in general, he's been keeping up with the tempo. He's looking to be aggressive. He's got a good feel of the game, understands the situation very well, and that is something which is showing in his numbers as well. In this year, he scored almost 1,000 runs, batting at healthy average of 51. Is another example of how he approaches the game. The conversion rate of 50s and 100s is also very good. So on the whole, he is someone who is, once he's set, looks like he likes to go and go on to make a big impact, big innings. That is something which was nice, and also the step out, reverse sweep, all the shots which are on display, the aggression. He's keeping up with the tempo. That's the most important thing, and this 100 was right up there because the team needed it.
Yes, in cricket, it takes two to tango at times with the bat. And alongside Daryl Mitchell was a youngster, Rachin Ravindra, fast, making the headlines pretty much in every game. Another half century from 75 of 87, 6 fours, a 6. Got a life when Ravindra dropped Ravindra. Yeah. But otherwise, that apart, this guy just almost looked like he was not in the mood to get out at all.
Yeah, he wasn't. Yeah, he wasn't. And again, same thing, good planning. He wasn't trying to hit the ball too hard. We saw a couple of cover drives as soon as he, came to bat. And again, hitting in an area where there is very, very less risk to get out. And I thought he was very impressive against spinners as well. Using feet is not just stepping out. Using feet is using the box, and that he did it against Jadeja, and Kuldeep is relatively slow in the air. So against him, he was stepping out and knocking it through the long on and long off. So that is, I think, when you're scoring runs against a team like India, though he's been batting really well in this World Cup, but scoring runs today against a team like this will give him a lot of confidence. And again, I keep saying it, this is not a 1K day or a Bangalore pitch where ball's coming onto the bat quite nicely. But even on this wicket, he was timing it brilliantly.
There were two stories running in parallel on Twitter. One is, what score will New Zealand get? And the other story was, will the medal ceremony happen at the end of this match in the Indian dressing room? If yes, who gets it? Shreyas Iyer took a great catch, which is the first one, I think, for India. And then, Zach, 3 drop catches. India's fielding as patchy as the outfield today.
We did touch upon that fact in the comm box, and it's got to be the high altitude, hardly any practice time in between. Can be a factor, one of the factors, but generally you've seen that effort from the team post Asia Cup. Asia Cup was that red flag which was just there in the corner. They needed to address it. I think the medal ceremony which we are seeing as a reward to the best fielder, or the guy who's been putting in effort on the field with the effort of fielding, is something which just to encourage and create that culture of thanking the guys who are contributing when in the field. Today was a mixed day. But on the whole, in this World Cup, we've seen some good things also with fielding.
You mentioned the altitude. Just for the common viewer who perhaps don't look at things very academically, what's the difference between, why is it difficult to take catches when there is high altitude?
The ball travels faster. The ball travels quicker. So if it's gone in air, you at times, if you're not adjusted to that, you can miscalculate. So I think that bit of benefit of doubt you got to give, because there's hardly any time between Pune and this game.
Yeah. Well, yes, Rohit Sharma took that catch where almost 3 fielders were converging on the ball. Rohit took the catch. And then, of course, Virat Kohli as well, taking a couple of very strong catches, showing that the standard is very much there, and those 3 drop catches were only an aberration. Who would you give it to, that medal?
Today, I think Shreyas Iyer's catch was brilliant, the way he taken that catch at the square leg. But yeah, obviously you have to give that medal, right? Like Zach said, India has fielded brilliantly in this World Cup. You can have these one-off days, and then look at the guys who've dropped catch. Ravindra Jadeja, you hardly see Ravindra Jadeja dropping the catch. KL Rahul has been brilliant in his wicket keeping. Yes, there was a slight little mistake where he stood up slightly early. Otherwise, I mean, these things do happen. Jasprit Bumrah at boundary, just like Zach said, would have expected ball to come slightly slower, but it did come and hit him hard. But these things can happen. But on the whole, if you look at the percentage of Indian fielding, the standard has been very high. Yep. So yeah, I think I'll definitely do a medal ceremony and will give it to Shreyas, because you can't just write it off anything just because you had one off day or a one bad day on the field.
And he asked for it as well. Straight away he said this, so maybe it's coming Shreyas' way. On the outfield, there are a few concerns from the Indian fans. some are worried that because the outfield is what it is, it might cause injuries to Indian players. And on the other hand, some asked why Bumrah wouldn't dive on the outfield. I want to ask you, where should Bumrah field? From an Indian perspective, would you risk having him in the outfield?
I think this discussion is overrated. You know what conditions you are playing under.
Yep.
You know what to do, what not to do. I'm sure the team meeting would have taken care of this fact. As I said it earlier also, this concern was there about the outfield in certain grounds. It's an ICC tournament. And if the ground is approved,
Yep.
obviously the inspection, the everything, whatever parameters it has to be filled is being done. Now, once you get on the field, it's your responsibility. Now, whether someone is not diving or diving, you can't scrutinize too much into it is what I would encourage. Just go play the game. It's about putting things together. And fielding is an important aspect. You saying, where the fielder should field. It's the fielding coach's job to decide that. And depending on your fitness, depending on your ability,
Yep.
you have these kind of things. Sometimes captain and teams decide for a fielder to be fielding in a specific position. And usually those fielders you will see in the point region, the best fielder usually will be fielding there, the covers, the mid wicket. If you want to save singles, then you look at right-handed, left-handed, certain agile fielders. Otherwise, usually the bowlers are on the boundary lines. Sometimes when the spinner is bowling at the 45, where there is not much of a requirement of running too much around, just to make sure that you're giving them and protecting them in a certain way. But there's no rule as such that certain fielder has to be fielding in a certain way.
Right. Despite the drop catches, India more than made up for those drop catches with some terrific ground fielding as well. Momentum with India in the last 10 overs, 6 wickets. Let's take another look at the Indian 11. 274 to chase. Parthiv, at this stage with momentum with India, who starts favourites? I mean, who has the upper hand at the halfway mark?
I'm sure India has an upper hand without a doubt. Because we were talking about if New Zealand gets 320, there's a due here as well. Yes, in the evening conditions, ball does swing a bit, but the pitch also is not that conducive for fast bowlers also. So, but yeah, I mean 270 is a target that India would have happily taken it if before the game started. So I think India would be sitting pretty. India would be sitting confident in their dressing room, thinking that we can chase down this target. So and the kind of form this everyone is in. Rohit scoring runs, Shubman scoring runs, Virat's got 100. KL is in great form. Surya Kumar Yadav's getting a game. We saw a newcomer Shami took a 5 today. It could be anyone's day. I think India's whole as a batting unit is in great form. So I would expect India to chase this down.
How is the pitch expected to behave? India won the toss, chose to bowl. Clearly, due was mentioned at the toss by Rohit as well. At a high altitude, how do you expect the conditions to be?
Well, we've seen it in yesterday's game also when England was playing. That in the evening, at times you will get some kind of help with the weather, the coolness in the air. So all those kind of factors, I think India has to be watchful of. Bolt and Rohit matchup we've been talking about. Rohit is in good form, so that's an advantage. But on the whole, that new ball is going to be very tricky. And if that help is not there in the air so much, then it will be a different game. Otherwise, it's going to be a very easy run chase for the Indian team if there is going to be a due factor because the spinners will be out of the game. So I think first 10 to 15 overs is going to be that gauge for everyone to see how the game is unfolding.
India, saw Rohit Sharma be pretty okay against Shaheen Shah Afridi. He attacked him today. Perhaps slightly different conditions as compared to Ahmedabad. Trent Bolt is a beast, as we all know. Bolt Blitz has been a top story. Bolt versus Rohit. How do you look at that matchup?
Obviously, it is a matchup, and I'm sure Rohit will be up for it. Form makes a big difference, as Zach mentioned. When you are in form, then you are more often than not, you put yourself into a good position to tackle those incoming balls of left arm seamer. And you look at the Rohit's numbers since Asia Cup. He's striking at 128 and averaging 60. So he's in good frame of mind. He has to be in a good frame of mind if you're striking at 120 and averaging at 60. So there will be a good matchup, good contest. I have to say that, because there are two quality players, playing against each other. Bolt is a quality bowler. Rohit Sharma is even a quality batter. So it will be a good contest. But I think Rohit will have an upper hand.
Bolt, already a master of his craft. We've seen him do it in this format for a long time. Has now added, he's upgraded his software. He's added a knuckleball as well. What do you make of Trent Bolt's armory?
Well, the variations is something which he has added in this tournament for sure. But his strength is always going to be the new ball. How he approaches with the new ball, that swing and wicket in the first spell is something which he's known for. And today New Zealand will be looking at that ideal start for sure from their bowlers. And Bolt and Matt Henry is something which will be responsible to give New Zealand that start, because at this stage they will be thinking that they are maybe 25, 30 or 30 runs short.
Well, Bolt must have seen a lot of videos of 2011 World Cup. How there was certain Zaheer Khan used to take wicket with his knuckleball. He's been bowling that knuckleball around that 32nd, 33rd over every time in the game.
It's a good variation.
Yes.
And with Bolt, he used to bowl the off cutter earlier, the slower one. Now he's added this, which he's bowling around the wicket as well, just to create that angle. It's not an easy delivery because he's not running in with the other hand. That's something which doesn't make him feel comfortable in the run up. So I think that angle and knuckleball is definitely going to be helpful as he goes along in this tournament as well.
Was it you'd hide it with your right hand?
Yeah.
Was a sight. Was a sight to behold at Zaheer Khan at that 2011 World Cup. I'm sure he's seen a lot of videos of Shubman Gill as well. He's had a stellar 2023. I think 1,200 plus runs. Shubman Gill as well. This is going to be a test of a different kind, even for a player of Shubman Gill's caliber, because this trio is probably the best they will face in this World Cup.
Yeah, they are a. You can say they are a full bowling unit. You've got Matt Henry's got swing, Bolty has a different kind of swing as a left-hander. Lockie Ferguson has space, Santner has his variation in his left-arm spin. So I think Indian batters will definitely be it will be challenged for sure against a quality bowling attack of New Zealand team. But I think as we've been talking about, whenever we are talking about quality of both the teams. We are talking about Shubman Gill and Rohit Sharma, quality batters, and then we are saying Bolt and Henry or Ferguson, quality bowling attack.
Yeah.
But that's what you have to. That's what happens when table toppers are playing. So it'll be a challenge. But once you get to a good start, then that due will come into play. That's when New Zealand will come into
Another aspect, Parthiv, that we need to talk about is left arm spin versus India. Mitchell Santner, the lone premier spinner for New Zealand. Left arm spin has troubled India in the past. Do India do to Santner what New Zealand did to Kuldeep and Jadeja? Do they go for the kill? If yes, who takes that role of attacking Mitchell Santner? Should it be Rohit? Should it be Shubman?
I think they will just be backing their strength. They're not going to follow template of New Zealand. They're going to follow the template which we've been seeing over the years with the Indian batters. They both are very good, well-rounded players, I would say. Not just the seamers, but the spinners as well. It's all about the start. Once you are in, once you faced 15-20 deliveries, then it's a different ball game. I think they're going to put every bowler under pressure once they pass that phase, and that's what will be on display. And we've seen with Rohit, he's made that statement also that he wants to show that intent and he wants to bat at a certain strike rate. So he's not going to wait till Santner to come to bowl. He's going to start with the word go.
Yes, well, remember what's at stake, not just 2 points, but the top spot on this 2023 World Cup points table. New Zealand, by virtue of a slightly better net run rate, are at 1, India at 2. The winner will take the top spot. Chance for New Zealand to consolidate that position as well. However, India need 274 to go top of the table ahead of New Zealand. They need to win their 5th consecutive game. Remember, the last 5 ODIs between India and New Zealand have gone India's way. Just enough time, gentlemen, to ask you for predictions. 10 over score for India.
52.
Zach.
60.
75. I think Rohit and Shubman will enjoy the pace on this track. We'll find out. That's it for now on Cricbuzz Live. Cricbuzz Combox coming up after 15 overs. Do join us then. Bye for now.